Courageous Conversation has become an annual event at Loyola Academy because we feel it's really important to partner with our parents, and we want to provide our parents the tools necessary to have challenging, uncomfortable, and even frightening conversations with their ramblers. We also want to bring to the forefront some of the hot topics such as marijuana use, the college race, the teenage brain, and why teens take the risks that they do. We're looking at leadership and how is it that you become a heroic leader. We're also, in being true to our mission, trying to bring in speakers that fit who we are and that fit with our strategic vision. This evening, we take on our first topic, which is when the stakes are high, teens in the law. This evening, we've put together a wide range of speakers, judges, lawyers, police officers, and social workers to talk about tough topics related to substance abuse, driving, drinking and driving, heroin, drug use, and sexting.
Have the courage to communicate with your students. By far, it's the number one most important thing.
What I like to emphasize to the kids and to parents is that we're always taught that we have the best criminal justice system in the United States, and we do. But I tell the kids, you don't ever, ever, ever want to be a part of it.
I've been in the narcotics unit at the State's Attorney's Office for about 15 years now, and kids don't realize how quickly they can get swept up in not only a felony offense, but in an offense that would land them in Cook County Jail or the Illinois Department of Correction.
If you are operating a car with any alcohol in your system, you're either going to get a DUI or a zero tolerance ticket. Because if you are under the age of 21, the only acceptable amount of alcohol in your system when you are operating a vehicle is zero.
The officer who pulls your child over has a lot of discretion. And I'm the parent of 3 teenage kids. I have talked to my kids about this. I have talked to my kids' friends about this. Something I hope you all walk away with tonight and talk to your children about is they are in that unfortunate circumstance that they need to be respectful to that officer, because that could impact what the officer ends up doing and how the officer ends up handling your child.
How do you know if you have a problem on your hands? I think it's important to differentiate between use and a more problematic kind of abuse. When I make an assessment, I think about the 4 C's to kind of sort out those who might be dabbling from those who are on the cusp of or moving into having a problematic relationship with substance use. First C is control. They want to stop, they try to stop, and they can't do it. The second C is craving. That it's either a psychological or a physical craving. They need it, they want it. We know that you pass from a substance use issue into a substance abuse issue when the drug itself begins to fill a void, begins to fill another need. The third C is consequences. People who are developing more of an addictive relationship with substances, negative consequences don't seem to matter a whole lot. So the C's, the D's, the F's, the losing eligibility to play on the team, the conflict, the tension at home, that kind of stuff is what I see. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't seem to be enough to change the course of what's happening. And the last C is kind of a compulsivity. It's that it becomes the thing that they think about all the time. The music they're listening to, the clothes they're wearing, the things that they're interested in. It's all kind of has some drug-related thing. This is when you have kind of a problem. These lines are so thin. So many of the kids, I've never in 35 years ever met a kid that said, I woke up Monday morning and I decided I want to be the best drug addict the world has ever seen. I never met that person.
If you're the parent of teenagers and you're going to be out of town or otherwise not in control of your house for like a weekend, that is the time that you need to be attentive with a sibling, a neighbor, something to make some avenue to make sure that your house does not become a place where teens congregate to have parties.
What the law says is if you knowingly authorize, enable, or permit alcoholic consumption by a minor, that's a crime. And if one of those minors goes out and gets in an accident and hurts him or herself or hurts somebody else, then you're looking at a felony conviction.
Narcotics trafficking, cannabis use is one of the few areas in life that we use the metric system, right? So everything is based upon grams and facts surrounding possession or possession with intent or delivery. And based upon those facts and the amount of stuff that you have is going to dictate what you're going to be charged with and what penalties you face.
What we're learning is the marijuana that's on the streets today, a lot of it comes from pharmaceutical places like Colorado. We're talking 17%, 30%, and as high as 67% stronger than the marijuana of the 70s and 80s. We know the risks. We're learning more and more about these things. The brain develops until about 22, 24 years old. Okay, it's really important to have a sense of what some of these drugs do in the name of hijacking some very real important functions of the human brain.
The suburban areas around Chicago and down into Will County has seen a tremendous increase in heroin use really in the last 6 to 7 years. We started kind of intently tracking the users, kind of the patterns, and we've been pushing out an education component to try to educate young people.
As far as monitoring your children, can you tell me where you draw the line for respecting their privacy and then monitoring their Instagram, their text, their phones?
The reality of it is adolescence is a time for your young people to pull away and start to develop a sense of privacy and a life for themselves. I guess I would come back to you knowing your kid better than anyone else and that thing that keeps you up in the middle of the night. And this is what I tell kids. Human beings are meaning-making machines. We need to make sense out of everything. And if you don't communicate with your parents and your parents say, listen, I don't know what's going on, tell me, and you do this nothing, or I don't know, you leave this huge gap. And what we do is we create mythology. And for parents, that tends to be flavored with a lot of paranoia. So you're making it worse. You know, look at Instagram, look at their phones. I think they're your kids. And if you have a sense that something's going on, then something's going on.
This community is gifted with many, many resources. The Loyola community have a lot of people that are willing and able and assist you as parents, as young adults, if you face any one of these challenges.